We're back.
I've been taking singing lessons.
Good morning, people. It's the beautifulest, most nice, amazing day in Switzerland. I'm like really hungry. This whole place smells like bread and money, and everybody here is just like so quiet and polite. Kind of sucks that we don't have so much time here, because we literally got to go to the airport in like 45 minutes. This is the coolest lounge I've ever been to. Like, it's clean, it's sleek, it's nice. Like, look at the view. My passenger princess. Waiting for the bag. We're back. We're in New York. Can't remember the last time I came back here. I was born in New York, so like this is my home. The weather's nice. It's fun to be here, and I'm just very, very excited to like get the ball rolling, because this is like the first step in a long series of events that, God willing, are going to work out well according to plan. Back in my childhood bedroom. Well, not really my childhood, but this is definitely where I spent some formidable years, to say the least. Back to it. My goal for this video is to essentially do what I started to do a few months back, which was like, I picked up this camera because I was right at the beginning of buying the newspaper and getting started on this whole journey with building the business and then eventually having it morph into what it is today. But I put it down, and I have this massive black hole, like a gap between those first licks of like the beginning stages and now where I am doing a lot of the things that I said before that I want to be doing. And just to like be transparent about that, like having all of those things included is important to me. But where I am right now is like, although it is a different stage, but it's still like building the business, and it's still going through these challenges and going through, you know, a lot of ins and outs on a day-to-day basis. Like it happens to be right now, like we woke up, I'm at my parents' house in New York to take care of like that tooth thing that I mentioned, and then we're like, okay, let's just rent a car, let's go to the city, let's just like go visit some friends. So like this doesn't correlate directly with, you know, oh, I'm running a business and these are the challenges, but it is my life. If you look at my LinkedIn profile, everything that I'm trying to relay through this content is kind of written out there in the lens of a hero's journey. And I think it is very important to dive into that, because ultimately, like, I'm 23 years old and I don't live anywhere right now, but I'm originally from here in New York, Brooklyn. I was born and raised in Crown Heights, which is a very like ultra-Orthodox Jewish community. I went to all boys schools until junior year of high school, when I finally convinced my parents to let me try a more secular education, which was still a Jewish school, but it was more modern, like co-ed, and definitely more college tracked and college oriented. But it was clear to me from a very early age that that wasn't the track that I was going to be on. I mean, thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. So going back into like my community after that year, there are a lot of people, like I said, who, you know, I've never seen the inside of a college. So I actually partnered up with one of my buddies when COVID started in 2020. That's kind of when I joined the workforce. I graduated in 2018 or 2019, and I joined the workforce and bobbed around a couple of like random jobs. Like I worked in a sushi restaurant, I did construction, as a lot of good Jewish boys do in Brooklyn, New York. And then COVID hit and all shit hit the fan, and I started this company with my friend, along with a lot of other people who just picked up the phone and just tried to close these deals, you know, like with masks and gloves, because there were major shortages, and all of a sudden everybody was like in wholesale and flipping. So we thankfully, by the grace of God, were able to turn it into a legitimate company, and we did multiple 7 figures of revenue over the course of a few years, not just in medical supplies, but we ended up expanding into janitorial goods and restaurant supplies. We just started eating up the market in Brooklyn, in Queens, in the city, in Long Island. We actually ended up having to buy a van, and we got it all decaled out. I'll probably put a picture on it because it was really cool. to see like our company name on this van that was going around and doing all these deliveries, and we had a driver and a warehouse, and it was really, really big. We kind of hit the ground running and learned a lot as we were going, and it took a lot of trial and error to finally build it up to a point where we were able to do multiple 7 figures in revenue, like I said. And through a lot of learnings and a lot of construction of the business and just trying to do things as you need, I realized that my strong suit and where I really thrive is in operations and systemizing and just building things out on the back end. And that's really what I enjoy doing. That's where I thrive. I come from a sales background. In those early days, we needed to do thousands and thousands of calls. And I was going back and forth between New York and LA with the little bit of money that we had, just to try to meet people and shake hands and really flex that sales muscle a lot from the ages of like 18, 19, 20, 21 even. And then by the time I was, getting on 22, the business was pretty established. We took out an office for ourselves, and, we had that team, and we had to buy a van, and we expanded into those other verticals. And I realized that like building out that back end and building out that system, although I failed a lot, I learned from those failures, and we eventually had something pretty robust. That's really where I felt that I, stood out the most, and I had the most value to bring forward. And that kind of brings me together to like what I'm trying to do here. To take a portion of those learnings and those lessons, and to take a portion of like the excitement and the passion that I have for what I do today, which is a completely different field, but it's still an entrepreneurial journey. And to take my lifestyle, which is I'm a Jew, and I just outlined where I come from, and I connect with God. And something very important for me, fusing the 3 of those together, is that when I was growing up, all of my role models, the people that I looked up to, whether it was people who pick up a camera like Casey Neistat, or people who were big in business like Carl Icahn, a massive finance guy, Elon Musk, Mark Cuban, all of these guys were like in their lane, but not openly Jewish. They were not like, and some of the people that I mentioned are Jewish, but they weren't like, here's what I do and here's how I do it, and I connect with God and I do my thing. And it's like, for me, I never had a role model that I could look up to that I really, really respected in the same regard as these people that I mentioned, that were also, hey, I put on tefillin every day, I keep Shabbat, I'm struggling finding a kosher restaurant here, in this random country that I'm in for business. Like, those elements were never fused into the content that I would gravitate towards. That being said, like, this is like my journey, and this is really what I want to bring you guys along for, and foster and build a community around that. And there's no secret that like we're in a creator era. This is the future of how things are going to go. Like, picking up a camera and recording and talking about what you do and how you do it is the new business card. And I obviously want to be on that wave, but there's some crazy powerful stuff that I'm feeling that can be done and be cultivated and incubated through picking up a camera and talking about what I'm doing and showing what I'm doing and building a community. No demographic, no people in specific. This is just my flavor of, doing this. And I'm really excited to take you guys along, because we're going to build some really cool shit. We're going to build some really, really cool shit.